Man, let me know what you think about that game. That game, yeah, is probably the worst game of football I've seen. That's probably the worst Man United versus Arsenal game I've ever seen. Um, the worst game quality wise I've ever seen. I guess the thing is, we're both going to be vexed for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? Man United created more chances, but struggled to actually put the ball in the net. It's an L for Man United because they've signed two new strikers, three new attackers, strikers, whatever. I would say they signed three new strikers, in my opinion, and they couldn't get a goal. With all their strike power, they couldn't get a goal, even when like dominating the ball, dominating the chances at home. You know, this is Man United. Do you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, regardless of where they're at, they were shit last season, whatever the case may be, they should be scoring goals at home. Do you know what I'm saying? However, for Arsenal, we've got to feel disappointed because we scored a goal through a corner. I'm not going to say it was lucky because corners are a skill in itself. We scored a goal from a brilliant corner from Declan Rice. Calafiori turned it in 13 minutes in. But from 13 minutes till 96 minutes, so 83 minutes in, 83 minutes extra, we offered nothing. We didn't offer anything whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? For that whole time. And we really just sat there. Man United had their game plan. They're going to go long to their target men. They're going to make the game scrappy. And Arsenal, you would expect, our game plan would be to bring the ball down on the floor, get us playing football, play some patterns. They're playing a back three with two very high advancing wing backs. We should be able to get through into the back. There's going to be space there for Martinelli and Saka to run into. And it wasn't on. It wasn't on at all. Do you know what I mean? Brycey said we all just wasted 90 minutes of our lives on that crap. I guess Arsenal come off the happier team because we've won away at Old Trafford. Across the season, Old Trafford is one of the more difficult places to go. It doesn't seem that way today because it's the first game of the season and they didn't play that well. But over the whole season, Man United's ground, Old Trafford is going to be one of the difficult away games. We've done it. We've got it out of the way. We've got 3 points. Fine. But we need big improvements. We need big improvements. And I think one of the problems as well is that I'm looking at the new signings that have come in. The man of the match for me is Calafiori, not just the goal, the combativeness, win the balls in the air. He managed to adapt his game to Man United's style of play, I thought, quite well. Odegaard, I thought, adapted his style of play quite well. There were some real letdowns. Saka, for me, let down today. Rice, for me, let down today. And I'm looking at the new signings. Gyökeres comes into the team. Zubamendi comes into the team. And neither of them really cover themselves in glory. They don't look terrible, but neither of them really cover themselves in glory. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of them situations. Like, we've got to do a lot better. We've got to do a lot better. Another Arteta signing this summer comes off. And again, Arsenal fans did not want this player. I can speak for most Arsenal fans, did not want Arsenal to sign Noni Madueke. Zubamendi was a necessary signing. Partey and Jorginho were gone. Gyökeres, we needed a number 9, and the fan base is split as to some people want Shesko, some people want Gyökeres. Nobody wanted Noni Madueke. And when he came in today, he just looked awful. Mikel Merino looked better. Noni Madueke couldn't defend. He didn't have much of a game sense around him. Saka put a good ball to him at the back post. He was completely on his own. Should have at least got a shot on target. He fluffed his lines. This is not what we want to be seeing from a £50 million winger. When we want a player like Eze, we want a player like Rodrigo. After this, when Liverpool played yesterday, there were question marks on Friday night. There were question marks on whether or not they need Isak because Ekitike was so good. Do they need Isak as well? Today, we've seen Noni Madueke play. Granted, it's only for 30 minutes or so, but we're like, damn, we need Rodrigo. Damn, we need Eze. He hasn't put any of those questions to bed. And this could be, if it stays like this could be a really dangerous situation for Arteta. Do you know what I mean? Because Amad Diallo in the chat, he said, Arsenal should be worried about this performance, especially looking at how City won. You've got to look at who City are playing. I'm not necessarily taking, I'm not necessarily taking that too seriously. Looking at Man City played Wolves, and we played Man United at Old Trafford. So I do think it's different. But the point that Amad Diallo makes stands, if we play like this all season, and if this is all the attack we have to go with, at the moment, it doesn't look like it's good enough. You know, I can see the argument for Šeško because people feel like Gyökeres can score goals when the ball's on the floor, if the opportunity is presented to him. And Havertz can do the ugly stuff in terms of pinning the defender, good in the air, holding the ball up. And what people probably feel like is a player like Cunha or a player like Šeško can actually do both. They can score goals if the ball's on the floor and they can do the hold-up play. And Man United have got two of them. We've got one of each. Man United have two of them. Do you know what I mean? And we're the team that's meant to be going for the league. We're the team that's been second back to back to back. So why does Man United have Cunha and Šeško, and we have, again, I don't want to be too harsh on Gyökeres, but we have Havertz for 65 million, and then, you know, what we've seen of Gyökeres today. Now, again, I think Man United did a really good job of making the game a really ugly, scrappy game and not allowing Arsenal to play their football. So I'm not going to judge Zubimendi solely on today. I'm not going to judge Gyökeres solely on today because this isn't the style of game they want to be playing. At home, first home game, let's see the kind of football that they play when we're dictating the pace and the style. But they're going to need to adapt. The Premier League is a competitive league, partly because we have so many managers that play so many different styles of football. I can go through all the teams in the Premier League, and the majority of them have good, talented managers. Whether it works out for them or not, Ruben Amorim is a very highly thought of manager in world football. Enzo Maresca, the same. Arteta, this is his first job. He's quite well thought of as well. Obviously, we've got Pep here, Arne Slot. We've got a lot of, even going down the league, we've got Glasner here. We've got a lot of good managers in this league and people that are not going to lie down. So just being someone that if the ball's put on a plate and you score is not going to be enough in the Premier League because we play against a lot of different styles of football and you might have to play quite a few scrappy games like this. They've got to get used to that. Zubimendi, the same. He's not good in the air. Guess what? This is probably the most physical league in the world. Do you know what I mean? So the ball is going to be in the air with big target men to deal with. When you go and play Nottingham Forest, you might have to deal with Chris Wood. And Nottingham Forest are not a top 6 team. But you might have to deal with that. When you play against Crystal Palace, you might have to deal with Mateta. These things are going to happen. And again, it's not Zubimendi's style of game, but he needs to learn. We've got away with one a little bit here today, I feel like. We've got away with a 1-0. It's, again, we can say, listen, let's not go overboard. It's Old Trafford. Next week, we go again. It's a difficult place to go. It's against one of the traditional big 6. We've got the win. But we need big, big improvements. Today was not an impressive performance or a performance that we can feel confident about going forwards. And we need big performances going forwards. Do you know what I mean? But shout out to Calafiori, man of the match. Really good. Hopefully him, Timber, White, we can keep these players a little bit. You know, we're playing against the United team of new signings, but Mbeumo is from the league. Cunha is from the league. They know this league. Šeško is a little bit different. He's new to the league. But overall, 1-0 Arsenal. Ran over. Do you know what I'm saying? We take the 3 points. We move. And yeah, man, thank you for everyone that locked into the stream. We'll be back. I'll tell you when we're live next. When are we next live? Arsenal versus Leeds. We'll be back here next week for Arsenal versus Leeds. So we'll see you lot then. And then obviously we've got the OnlyFacts podcast coming out in the week. Peace and love, everybody. I'll catch you on the next one. Safe.